Okay, let's unpack this. We're standing right on the edge of, well, one of the biggest events in wrestling, Summerslam, and that final go-home show. It's always critical, isn't it? It's where those last psychological blows land.
Sets the whole stage.
Exactly, setting the stage for something huge.
And what's fascinating here, looking at our source, Friday Night SmackDown from August 1st, 2025. Wow, they packed so much crucial stuff in there.
Right. Where was it again? Newark?
Yeah, Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Place was packed, 9,800 people. And you could feel it. This wasn't just another show. It was that final intense push before the two-night SummerSlam.
Absolutely. So our mission today really is to dig into this episode, pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, the insights.
Give you that shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut so you understand the key fights, the surprises, and what it all means going forward into SummerSlam.
Because there was a real mix. Championship matches, these really personal feuds heating up.
And some twists, some genuinely unexpected moments that could, honestly, redefine some legacies.
For sure.
So the show kicked off. I mean, you can't get much bigger, right? John Cena's music hits.
Instantly recognizable. And you hear it immediately, those "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants. Just fills the whole arena.
Passionate, as always. And Mark Nash was there, doing his usual thing, the voice of the WWE Universe shtick.
Giving Cena all those elaborate, self-proclaimed titles. It was grand, classic Cena entrance feel.
But then Cena got on the mic, and it wasn't what I expected.
No, not at all. It was genuinely surprising. He started by thanking Cody Rhodes.
Thanking him for attacking him, for forging his signature, for putting him in a dangerous street fight.
Yeah, thanking him for all of it. It completely flipped the script on their whole feud, fundamentally changed the narrative.
It really did. And his reasoning.
Yeah.
He said he'd become self-satisfied, admitted he needed that.
Well, his words kick in the butt.
Which is pretty raw honesty from Cena. Very. He talked about his 25-year career, built on hard work and respect, he said. But then contrasted that with, some recent shock TV stuff and feeling maybe a bit lost, maybe abandoned after WrestleMania.
Yeah, that feeling of being adrift. For a guy like Cena, who's always been the anchor, that's a big admission. It's a real moment of self-assessment, isn't it?
Definitely.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, his motivation for wanting the title again, he was clear. It wasn't about ruining wrestling. He loves wrestling, he said.
Right.
It was more about needing to be remembered now. He felt he'd focused too much on his legacy, how he'd be seen down the road, and forgotten about his impact today.
That makes sense.
And he credited, Cody Rhodes called him a good friend, interestingly, with forcing him to dig deep to sort of return to his roots.
So Cody's attack was the catalyst he needed.
That's how Cena framed it. It wasn't just a storyline twist. It felt like maybe a genuine arc of rediscovery for him.
And he finished it with that huge declaration, right?
Yeah.
Mark this day, August 1st, 2025.
As the day John Cena finally really came back to the WWE, powerful stuff.
Then he challenges Rhodes, tells him to get it, and says he's the only rapper showing up at SummerSlam. Total mic drop moment. You felt the intensity shift.
And Cody's response, equally interesting, really telling, just smiled.
Yeah, no big speech back.
Nope. Fetched 2 beers, toasted Cena, and just said, "Welcome back to WWE." Then left Cena alone in the ring with the fans.
What do you make of that? The toast.
Well, after Cena bears his soul like that, the toast felt like more than just respect. It kind of solidified Cody as the one who caused this return, It subtly confirms his own power, his own position.
Interesting take. Like, I broke you, and now I welcome you back.
Something like that. It definitely adds another layer to their SummerSlam match. Like, what happens when the aggressor is thanked? Does it weaken them or just prove their point? It's fascinating for you to consider heading into the street fight.
Okay, moving on from that heavy personal stuff. There was also this big clash brewing earlier in the day, the whole veterans versus outsiders thing.
Oh, yeah, Logan Paul showing up where Jelly Roll was training.
Interrupting him, mocking him, and then it got physical. Paul attacked him.
And he wasn't alone for long. Drew McIntyre jumped in, too. They gave Jelly Roll a pretty thorough beating.
Yeah, really laid into him, set a very aggressive tone.
Making a clear statement about SummerSlam, no doubt.
And then later, they come out to the ring, Paul and McIntyre. Paul immediately tells the crowd to shut up, even points out some guy.
Guy with the green shirt in the first row, yeah. Demanding silence.
And their reason, they're protecting the business.
Right. This really taps into that ongoing debate in wrestling, doesn't it? Authenticity versus celebrity. They hammered Jelly Roll for being an outsider.
Said he thinks wrestling is a hot dog eating contest.
Exactly. Contrasting him with themselves, guys who've dedicated their entire lives to this, their message was basically, you don't belong here.
And McIntyre he really ratcheted up the aggression, calling Jelly Roll smelly hole.
Which is creative, I guess.
And blaming Randy Orton for whatever happens next. Then the really weird part, claiming he has God on speed dial.
Yeah, that was something. Very bad things happen when I pray. I mean, talk about dialing up the menace. It felt almost cartoonish, but intensely threatening at the same time.
Wrestling theatrics turned up to 11.
And all that talk, all that tension, it just boiled over. Jelly Roll and Randy Orton made their entrance.
Huge reaction for them, obviously.
Oh, yeah. They stormed the ring, and it just erupted. Immediate brawling with Paul and McIntyre.
Nick Aldis had to send out security pretty quick.
Yeah, he reacted fast, but it was already a powder keg, you know? Security tried to pull them apart.
Tried being the operative word. The report called it variable success, which feels like an understatement.
Totally. Amidst the chaos, you had Orton just dropping RKOs on security guards left and right.
And Jelly Roll even tried a choke slam on one, while Paul and McIntyre just watched from the ramp.
Smug, yeah, as the show went off the air.
So this whole thing, the outsiders versus the lifers, it's more than just setting up Orton, Jelly Roll versus Paul McIntyre, isn't it? It reflects those bigger debates about who belongs, about tradition versus mainstream fame.
Absolutely. It taps into real feelings within the fan base and maybe even the locker room sometimes.
Okay, so beyond those big personal feuds, we also got some important in-ring action, championship stakes on the line, started with the women's U.S. title.
Right, Julia defending against Zelina Vega. Julia had Kiana James with her.
And this was the rematch Vega wanted, right?
Exactly, the demanded rematch. Julia got the win, pinfall, after the Northern Lights bomb. Took about 12 minutes.
Pretty decisive win for Julia then.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just a defense, it felt like a statement. She really dismantled Vega, showed her power, cemented her as a dominant champ heading into SummerSlam weekend. No doubts left there.
Then, something I didn't see coming, and AAA Tag Team Championship Open Challenge on SmackDown.
Yeah, that was Los Garza, Angel, and Berto with Santos Escobar. They reminded everyone they'd won the titles a couple of months back.
Escobar was out there demanding respect too, wasn't he?
He was. Seems like a move to assert their dominance, maybe get under the crowd's skin a bit.
And the challengers?
Psycho Clown and Mr. Iguana, which definitely brought a different energy.
Bit of a surprise. How'd that go?
Los Garza retained. Angel pinned Psycho Clown after their finisher, the MTY. Pretty quick, about 7 minutes.
So a strong showing for them. Underscores their tag team prowess.
Definitely. Efficient, ruthless, signals they're a force to be reckoned with in any tag division they show up in.
Okay, we had that singles match, Damian Priest versus Aleister Black. Lots of history there.
Yeah, a lot of bad blood. Priest actually won this one, but by DQ.
DQ, how?
Black just snapped through a chair right at Priest. Match ended around 8.47.
But it didn't end there, did it?
Oh, no, that was just the start. Black went absolutely ballistic post-match, kept wailing on Priest with the chair, rammed his head into the ring steps, then finished him off with the black mass. Trainers had to come out and check on Priest.
Brutal. So Black sends a very clear, very violent message.
Extremely clear. He's willing to cross any line, sets up whatever comes next between them to be incredibly intense, probably violent.
Right. Now, shifting backstage.
Right.
Lots happening with the bloodline dynamic.
Always, right. Kathy Kelly interviewed the MFTs Solo Sikoa and Talatanga.
That's the most feared team. Catchy.
Apparently. They were setting up Tonga's match against Jimmy Uso later and also hyping Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam.
How was Sikoa looking?
Confident, extremely confident. Said he'd beat Fatu, said Tonga would dominate his debut, standard stuff, but then he dropped that line.
The cryptic one.
Yeah. Everything points to where you should belong.
Okay, what does that mean?
Exactly.
Oh.
Kathy Kelly looked totally confused, asked him what he meant, and Sikoa just yells back, off screen apparently, that she knows what he meant.
Chilling. It feels like more than just trash talk.
It really does. It feels like it hints at Sikoa's grand plan, his vision for the bloodline, maybe some kind of predetermined destiny or power structure he sees. Very intriguing.
So Tonga did have his match against Jimmy Uso. How'd that go?
Tonga won, pinfall, after a chokeslam. Took about 9.5 minutes.
And Sikoa was involved.
Yep. Provided some smaller distractions, as the report put it. Helped Tonga get the edge. Made Tonga look dominant in his first big outing.
But again, the post-match was where things really kicked off.
Absolutely. Sikoa calls his MFT guys JC Mateo and Tonga Loa into the ring to jump Jimmy Uso. Then that steel cage starts lowering from the ceiling.
Trying to trap Jimmy.
Looked like it. Classic heel move. But just before it closes completely, Jacob Fatu arrives.
Dramatic entrance.
Big time. He slides into the cage just before it locks. Sikoa and Talatonga. They bailed immediately, escaped through the door.
Leaving Fatu locked in with Mateo and Tongaloa.
Exactly. And Fatu just cleaned house, took them both out quickly.
Wow, so that whole segment, it shows the cracks in the bloodline widening, right?
Yeah.
And Fatu standing tall against Sikoa's forces.
Definitely. New alliances forming, old ones fracturing. It makes you really think about Sikoa's line again. Where you should belong. What's the end game here? Who belongs where in this family power struggle? Huge implications for SummerSlam.
Elsewhere backstage, real quick, Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre blew off reporters.
Yep, brief encounter. Refused to comment on the Jelly Roll attack. Just said they'd talk later in the ring. Building the suspense.
Classic. And we also saw a bit more on Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, following up from last week, remember Cargill beat Chelsea Green, then got attacked by those Secret Service guys over the U.S. title?
Bizarre incident.
Totally bizarre. And Stratton made the save, surprisingly, created this kind of uneasy alliance.
So what was the follow-up?
Cargill basically told Stratton backstage, look, I didn't need your help last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she said there'd be no distractions at SummerSlam. Seems like Cargill wants to prove she can handle things herself, maybe wants total focus for her title match.
Interesting. Independence over alliance there.
Seems like it. We also got that conversation between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, yeah, the tag team that isn't quite a team.
Pretty much. They were surprisingly honest about it, admitted they aren't friends, even critiqued each other a bit.
But they're okay with the team.
They said they were satisfied with it, and their plan, they're going to reevaluate the F word, meaning friendship, after they win the titles.
Wow, purely business.
Very pragmatic, almost cold, you know. Success first, relationship maybe later. It'll be fascinating to see if that purely transactional approach actually works for them.
And then just the general SummerSlam hype building throughout the show.
Loads of it. Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett ran down the match cards, and they aired that great promo video for the six-pack TLC match for the WWE Tag Titles.
Oh, TLC. Love those.
Yeah, showed all the teams in action, spliced with clips from old iconic TLC matches. Really sold the danger and the chaos.
So even these smaller backstage bits, Cargill asserting independence, Bliss and Flair's weird dynamic, they all add threads to the bigger picture, don't they?
Yeah. Absolutely. They weave into that complex tapestry of rivalries and alliances that's all set to just explode at SummerSlam. It adds depth.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive into the Go Home SmackDown, it really shows how layered wrestling storytelling can be, doesn't it?
It really does. You've got these long-running feuds taking sudden turns, like Cena's whole revelation. You've got new teams forming and immediately being tested, like with the Bloodline factions.
Even that complex psychology, like Cena's journey of rediscovery, it all came together on this one night.
Exactly. It all converges right before the big event.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, hopefully this deep dive gives you that full context. Now you know what to really watch for at SummerSlam.
Right. You have a much richer sense of why these matches matter, why the stakes feel so personal for these performers. It's not just random matches. There are stories driving everything.
You understand the why behind the fights.
Precisely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. In this world where heroes and villains conflict so quickly, how do you figure out the real motivations behind the shock TV moments, the big speeches?
Good question. Like Cena's comeback. Was it purely Cody or something else?
And what does it really mean to come back to something you love? Especially if it means getting pushed to your absolute limit or even having to credit your rival for making it happen. Lots to chew on there.
Definitely something to think about. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into all the drama, the strategy, the emotional stuff, setting the stage for SummerSlam.
Hope you feel ready.
Yeah, we hope you feel thoroughly informed, ready to watch SummerSlam with a deeper understanding, and maybe think a bit more about the stories unfolding all around you.